I've been working very hard on this video, and as you can see, Kaisa being my most played champion, I was testing a lot of different builds, and I was somehow still able to get a 69% nice win rate. And I have to say, this win rate would have been 80% if I always stuck to the right builds. And the right builds are, of course, the builds that I'm going to be showcasing to you guys. Kaisa is absolutely broken. It's like not even, you can't even contest it. Like the fact that this is just such a disgusting champion. I have two gameplays for you guys. And I'm so happy to give you guys these ones because I worked so hard on them because this has been work in progress for like 3 weeks. I really wanted to give you the right builds because there, you know, this was when they changed the Duskblade. And I already started to experiment with the Duskblade. You know, I started to play AD Kaisa where I would go for Duskblade, Bloodthirster, etc, etc. I started to, and then they changed the Runans too. And then they nerfed it, you know what I mean? So like I started experimenting with Runans, it felt so weak, and then I finally found a build. So here are the two builds. This is the first one, and I want you guys to open your ears and listen carefully because each build, it feels like you're playing a whole different champion. It literally feels like you're playing two different champions. So first build. This is, I would say, the average build. This is what you would go probably like 70% of the games. The point of this build is it's overall good, first of all. Secondly, it's especially good for one-shotting enemies, like, and against squishies, and in 1v1s. So essentially, versus squishies, burst damage, you know, when you ult in the burst, and 1v1s. Squishies, burst, 1v1s. These three things, if you need them in a game, you go for this build. For example, like this build would be very good if a Fizz is trying to dive you, you're gonna one-shot him. You know what I mean? Like that's the point of this build. This build is very good if in your team there is an Alistar and the enemy has an Ashe, you want your Alistar to engage, zoof, you ult in and you one-shot him. Your first ability will do an obscene amount of damage very early on, and that's because of the Duskblade. So the way this build goes, we go Duskblade, then you go Boots of Speed, and it's very simple. I'm not gonna explain why you go for the thing, because this is literally the build. Then you go for Nashor's Tooth, then you go for Riftmaker, then you go for Boots of Mana. And remember, you don't want to get these boots before 3 items. I mean, at least that's my opinion. I have a great win rate on Kaisa. You know, you could have a different opinion. Maybe someone else has a different opinion. This is what I present to you guys, you know. It's not like, I'm not going to present it as a fact that it's wrong or right to buy it after the 3 items. I'm just saying this is what I always do. And it works pretty well because then you're going to get the power spike much faster. And then right here, you can either choose to go for the Crown of the Shattered Queen or Rabadon. I pretty much always go Rabadon unless I truly desperately need the Crown. See, there are 2 situations I would go for Crown. First one is if I'm like 17 on 0. If I'm like 17 on 0 or like 15 on 0, if I'm absolutely hardcore snowballing, you do not need additional damage because you're snowballing. Then you go for Crown of the Shattered Queen. Of course, still gonna give you damage, but this is gonna give you the shield, allowing you to go like 20 on 0. You know what I mean? I'm saying a bit too much. If you're like 6, 7 on 0 already, it's probably worth to go for Crown of the Shattered Queen instead of the Rabadon. But if it's like your average game, which is gonna be, you know what I mean, like 80, 90% of your games, you're gonna go for Rabadon's Death Cap. And then, of course, lastly, Crown of the Shattered Queen. And then for the enchantment, you're gonna go for Stasis or QSS. QSS is great too. For the runes for this build, you go Conqueror. Do not, and I repeat, do not go for Lethal Tempo with this build, okay? I'm gonna get mad at you. If I ever see anyone go Lethal Tempo with this build, I will get really mad. Because the point of this build is your abilities will do a lot of damage. You have a Duskblade. Your first ability will do huge damage. And can you imagine if you stack up the Conqueror as well? It's gonna do even huger damage. You know what I mean? Don't go for Lethal Tempo. This ability, this build is ability focused. Your basic attacks will do good damage, but it's ability focused, ability damage focused. First of all, you go for, I'm sorry guys, sorry for the noises, I'm still a bit sick, but first of all, you go for Brutal to brutalize the enemy early game. Then you go for Giant Slayer. The thing is, you always go Giant Slayer. Like, the other 2 runes are just not good. You always go Giant Slayer. The thing is though, perhaps in a game where you have the Alistar in your team, you have the diving champions, and then you're always ulting in. Perhaps in that particular scenario, you could go for Cup of Grass to be able to one-shot squishies more efficiently. You know, that particular scenario, you could go for Cup of Grass. But generally, the Giant Slayer is going to provide more value. Kaisa can take down front lines, you know what I mean? She has the passive to do that. And even with this build, which is like, you know, mainly focused on taking down squishies, you're still going to be able to take down front lines because of the nature of how Kaisa works. Here you go for Legend Alacrity, and that's because you are lacking attack speed, because of course you're not going lethal tempo, and the only attack speed item you have is a Nashor's Tooth, so because of that, you are going to go for Legend Alacrity. And then here, I guess I went Perseverance, because in that particular game I needed Perseverance, but not Bone Plating. Generally, bone plating, not overgrowth, bone plating. You're gonna go bone plating, so you can survive the early game, and in the late game, you're gonna be fine. For the spells, you go for Exhaust and Flash. Now let me show you guys the little secret sauce build. This build was very easy to figure out. I literally figured it out on the first day. It was easily decided. This build, on the other hand, gave me a huge headache, okay? And this build, I only recommend the very advanced Kaisa players to even think about giving this build a try, because I lost so many games experimenting with this build. I lost so many games, because let me explain. The first thing I did with this build is trying to do it like this, okay? This seems to be the more optimal way. You know, you go Nashor's Tooth, Runans, these are basic attack things. But the problem is, at 2 items, you just have no damage. You have no damage. The whole point of this build, the power spike of this build, you know, while the other build starts off like this and stays strong, like this build starts here and stays here until 3 items where it gets stronger. This build gets stronger than the other one, okay? That is the difference between the builds. There is this breaking point right here. Before that breaking point with this build, you are absolutely trash. So I tried to figure out, how do I make this build at least a little bit better early game? You know, how do I bring this from here to at least here? So at least you can do something, because even on level 1, you're already trash, because this item, you're gonna start off with a dagger. It's not like your first ability will do so little damage, as opposed to like any other build where you build like a weapon blade, or you build like the magic book, or whatever the hell that is. You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna give you damage. Attack speed is not gonna give you damage. You never build attack speed level 1. But with this build, you have to, because this is your first item, you know what I mean? So you go Nashor's Tooth first, and then the solution I found is you go Riftmaker second. Riftmaker second is still trash. You are not gonna do a lot of damage. However, you're gonna do more damage than the Runan's Hurricane. I did figure that out, like, you will do more damage than Runan's Hurricane. Again, you're really not gonna do a lot of damage with the Riftmaker, but it's like significantly better than Runan's, because if you have a Nashor's Tooth and a Runan's, sure, you can hit 3 enemies, but doing 3 times nothing is still nothing, you know what I mean? Like, if you do no damage, doesn't matter if you're hitting 3 enemies. So you go for Riftmaker, then you're gonna go for Runan's Hurricane. With this build, on the other hand, you always have to go Rabadon. Because I hate to say it, but the actual power spike of this build is at 4 items. And that is why I really do not recommend this build for the average Joe, for the average Kaisa player, because the playstyle of this build, which I'm going to be talking about in the second game of the video, you know, the first game is going to be, you know, the build that I recommend all of you to play. The second game is going to be for the more advanced Kaisa players. You can watch it for entertainment purposes, because the second game is going to be better than the first one, but I'm just warning you guys, you know, I'm saying it multiple times. This build is hard, okay? You have to reach 4 items. When you reach 4 items, you're nuking the entire enemy team. That is the thing with this build. You're nuking them. And then, of course, Carve the Shadowed Queen lastly. And for the boots, same story as the first build. After Nashor's, you buy tier 1 boots. After 3 items, you buy the boots of mana. And for the enchantment, of course, stasis and QSS. Now let's get to these runes. Okay, and here it gets a little bit interesting. With this build, you go lethal tempo. And the way you play this build, which I'm going to be further explaining during the gameplay, is in the beginning, you're going to use your abilities. After 3 items, 4 items, you're not going to use your abilities anymore. You're only going to use your third ability. It's literally a waste to use your first ability. Unless you're in a 1v1 scenario. I'm going to get more into this during the gameplay. I don't want to waste your time during the rune part. Second rune is going to be Brutal, Giant Slayer. And here you can go Alacrity or Bloodline. I like to go Alacrity because if you're not using your abilities anymore, you want to have absolute max attack speed. You're like a machine gun. Pew, 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 pew. You're going to shoot like crazy. So Alacrity is going to make you shoot even crazier. And then, of course, Bone Plating. And here also Exhaust and Flash. So that is it about the build. Let's now get into the gameplay. So, oh boy. You know, I have some of the videos that I have in my library where I'm so happy to bring them. It's like a couple videos, you know. Some videos don't take a lot of work to make. Hell, some videos are even just like I play a random game of Teemo, suddenly I have a video. You know, those are just the average videos, which are good, but like This one, I've actually pre-planned, I've been thinking about the build, I've been asking around, I've been testing, and the good thing is I've succeeded so much with this that I'm just so happy to present to you guys how to play Kaisa in patch 4.4. Because this champion is the most broken champion, the most broken ADC in the game. By far. It's like not, that's a kill by the way. By far. It's like not even close. And the second gameplay is gonna be the advanced one. This is just gonna be, you know, your average Kaisa. As in like, how you, basically I'm gonna teach you guys how you're gonna be able to get at least a 55% win rate on Kaisa. You should be able to get even 60 at the very, like, I mean, I'm saying at least, but at least 55. So how does Kaisa work? Kaisa with this build is quite strong early game. You're getting a weapon blade. I think it's called, in Vainglory it's called weapon blade, I don't know. But you know what I mean, the tier 1 attack damage item. As you can see, like I'm beating them. So you go for the attack, the weapon blade and a brutal rune and conqueror. This combination is really gonna give you a huge amount of damage early game. Now especially, what am I doing here? I think someone rang my doorbell or something here, or something happened. So with this build you're gonna be extremely powerful early game. Also late game, but we'll get more into that in the late game. In the lane, the only weakness Kaisa really has is her range. So the one thing you want to be careful of in the draft, and this is both builds by the way, is you know, the Caitlyn's, the Namis, the Ashes. You can beat them. It's not like you can't beat them. It's just they're gonna be annoying in the lane. You know what I mean? Because of course when you all in them, you're gonna beat them. 1v1, you're gonna beat them. But you wanna be careful of them. Especially the Namis. Like the support Nami is so annoying when you play Kaisa. Because not only is she gonna outrange you, outdamage you in the lane, ult you and all of that, she's gonna give her allies movement speed to allow them to win against you. Ooh, Baron had a beautiful dive right here on that Volibear. Fortunately he died though, but it's fine. At least we killed the Tristana, that's the important part. So you wanna be careful of those. Besides that, like, is there anything you need to be careful of? Twisted Fate. Oh, Twisted Fate. That champion. Oh my god. Do not pick Kaisa into Twisted Fate. Like, a good Twisted Fate is gonna destroy you. Because you know what the problem is? In the late game, supposedly, you know, you're gonna be fine because you can use your third ability to become invisible. Not against a Twisted Fate. Because a Twisted Fate is just gonna use its ultimate and reveal you. Even when you use your third ability, your invisibility is not gonna work. So you're gonna get stunned, you're gonna get one-shot by the Twisted Fate. So Twisted Fate is also a champion you wanna be very, very careful of. And besides that, were there any other champions I had trouble with? Not really, actually. Not really, like, not at all. Twisted Fate, Caitlyn was annoying, Ashe was annoying, Nami was annoying, but besides that, there really wasn't any champion that I had trouble with. There really wasn't. There really wasn't. Like, you may be thinking Ziggs, you know? But the thing is, all you have to do on a Ziggs is hit your second ability on him, or flank him while you're invisible, and just ult on him, exhaust him, and kill him. So he's not a problem at all. So that's the only drafting advice I would give for Kaisa. By the way, I want to remind you guys, I am doing a skin giveaway, and all you have to do to enter the skin giveaway is put down a comment under the video, giving away 3 skins this month. Yeah, and also please give this video a like. Let's see if we can reach 1,000 likes for this video. This video took many hours to make, and I'm happy to present it to you guys, of course. If you're enjoying it, well, maybe you're not enjoying it yet, but 40 minutes into the video, I'm sure you guys are gonna enjoy it. Make sure you give the video a like. So, I'm actually doing decently. This is like kind of the average Kaisa game that I have. You know, I guess most games I win a little bit harder early game. But it's like you win early game as Kaisa. Like with this build, you win. Oh my god. Wow. I have stacked my Conqueror, but I'm not gonna 1v4. Not yet, at least. Not gonna go in 1v4. Because with this build, it's so easy to win early game. Unless you're against like a big range champion. Because you have all that, like you have the serrated Dirk and all of that. Like the Duskblade, the point of the Duskblade is, like actually the whole point of the Duskblade with Kaisa is the first ability. Your first ability is essentially gonna do like twice the amount of damage as like a normal first ability. Because of the Duskblade. Because your first ability is the only ability Kaisa has that does physical damage. So that's literally why you're building the Duskblade. Sure, your basic attacks will do good damage too, but it's your first ability that you're mainly building around. I screwed up here, but look at that damage! I did die, but you see the damage? Do you see the damage? It's insane. And the good thing is as well, you need to remember, the Duskblade gives you a slow. The first time you hit an enemy champion, you're gonna slow them. So like she has such a strong one-shotting combo. You use your third ability, basic attack, first ability, second ability, you're slowing the enemy and you're literally taking down half their HP with your first ability. And that's early game. And the thing I realized as well, even in the late game, when you're, when you're building magic damage and all, with the Duskblade, it's like interesting how your first ability still does a lot more damage than like if you would have gone for a Muramana. I don't know why it works like that, because normally Duskblade is supposed to be an early game item, but even in the late game it feels like it does way more. I mean, look at this, look, boom! You see that? That's just my first ability, chunking down like 40% of his health. And another thing you need to do with Kaisa, you see how I'm hitting the Braum? Why was I hitting? I did die, by the way, but besides the point that I died, I got caught by the Akshan. It was very well played. But why did I attack their front line like that? You know, even though I wasn't really doing that much damage. The main reason is I want to maintain a distance, stack up my Conqueror stacks, and when I have 6 stacks, I will go balls deep into the enemy, okay? So that's another thing as a Kaisa. You don't immediately want to go in. Unless, of course, you can one-shot them. You know, there are exceptions to the rule. But generally, you're gonna try to stack your Conqueror on the front lines, right? You're gonna try to stack it up. Because the thing is, you can go in and try to one-shot them. Sure. Oh my god, Akshan just revived everyone. You can do that, and that's good, right? Like, it works very well. But stacking up your Conqueror to full stacks is always going to be stronger. It's going to be like as if you have another item. You're going to do like a crazy amount of extra damage. He's actually a level ahead of me, so I'm being a bit careful of the Tristana. You can see this game is really not ideal. I don't want to show you guys an ideal game, because normally I do win early game quite hard with this build, like very hard. But now I'm actually struggling perhaps a little bit. You'll see, yeah, you'll see. I'm gonna try to take this Scuttle Cap. You should be able to secure Scuttle Crabs. That one was a bit weird because I left it at 8 HP, which is not calculated well. I thought I was gonna one-shot it like that with my passive, but I didn't. Because Duskblade also does a lot of damage to jungle camps. And dragons and all of that. Okay, so... Ooh, yeah, we're in trouble here. I'm trying to run away while stacking my Conqueror, as you can see. There's the full stacks. But then again, what can I do? You know, there's 3 people in my lane. This is why I started to struggle in this game, because the enemy started to focus my lane very, very... I mean, look at Kayn. I saw Kayn on the... I remember seeing Kayn on the minimap. That's why I ran out of my turret. I didn't see him now while looking at the replay. But for some reason, I remember that during the gameplay, I knew Kayn was coming, which was the reason why I abandoned my turret. Like, these enemies are gonna hardcore focus me. I guess they were afraid that I was gonna carry the game. So that's like, you know, that is gonna happen in games as well, and you're gonna struggle in games like, oh, there we go, I can exhaust him, should be a kill. But he flashes over the wall. I could have flash ulted after him, but that would have been too much. Because imagine if his whole team was there, and if I died then, I'm gonna get snowballed, you know. I didn't want to risk that, so instead I just went to farm, get up my CS, get up my gold. I need that Nashor's Tooth. I need to go back. This is a very big power spike, the Nashor's Tooth. You're gonna get a lot of basic attack damage from it. And mainly, you get that invisibility on your third ability. This is such a huge upgrade. Akali is coming. I'm gonna backport in the bush to try to juke her. Am I actually gonna juke her? No, I guess I just flashed then. I can ult. Oh, I'm alive! My team saved me! Let's go! Wow! Oh, so I tried to get as close as I could to my team in the hopes that somehow my team would save me against this very strong Akali. And they actually did. So that's insane. That's very nice. Now I should be able to 1v1 Kayn. Because Nashor's Tooth, invisibility. Look, he doesn't know I'm coming. And... okay, I want you guys... there's something very important that I want to show you guys right here. This is something very fundamentally important on Kaisa. It may be very subtle, but let me just... This one thing, and I open your ears. This one thing, look. It's gonna change your game of Kaisa. Look at the timing of my third ability, look. You see what I did? So if you understand what I'm talking about right now, you're already gonna be a good Kaisa. If you have absolutely no idea why this is anything special that I'm, you know, going back into the video for, then listen carefully. The way you want to time your third ability as a Kaisa, and I'm talking when you flank the enemy. Flanking the enemy meaning surprising them, you know? When you flank the enemy, you want to time your third ability exactly at the moment you enter their vision, okay? So let's say this is a champion. Their vision goes till here, okay? Till here. The moment you're about to enter their vision circle, that's when you use the third ability. It will give you bonus movement speed, invisibility, and then you're gonna be super close to them already. You see what I did to that Kain there? I made him go all the way under my turret. And the moment I was about to enter his vision range, I used my third ability, so he would walk all the way in my turret. When he's under my turret, he cannot hit me, right? Because if he hits me, he's gonna get destroyed by the turret. So that's how I timed it. You can also use the walls. You know, when you're behind the wall like this one, the enemy cannot see you. Even if you're within their vision circle, if you're behind the wall, they cannot see you. So you can go from behind the wall and surprise them as well. This is, I'm probably dead. I mean, what is my team doing? I got focused by Akshan ult and by Kain. I just die. I couldn't really do anything. Yeah, I'm telling them here, like, am I, guys, you need to save me. I don't really know why they didn't. They didn't even seem like they cared about me. But this important thing about the third ability, I want you to put it in your head and always pay attention to it. When you flank them, come through the wall, you want to use it last second, literally last second. And the tighter you can make this timing, the better it's gonna be. Because like this way, I've gotten so many free kills on Kaisa, it's crazy. Another cool little trick with Kaisa's third ability is the moment you walk into a bush, let's say you're getting chased by an enemy, you walk into a bush, you can then instantly use your third ability and run into the enemy towards the opposite direction. The enemy is gonna keep walking forwards, and then, you know, when they realize, hey, wait a minute, where's Kaisa? You've already ran away. You can also flash during your third ability. If you use your third ability, you're invisible. If you flash, the enemies cannot see that you flashed. So those, like, all of those things can really help you to like juke the enemy while it, you know, during the fight, before the fight, anything like that. You can just juke them so easily with the Kaisa's third ability. It's such a powerful ability, and I feel like so many people just don't understand how to use Kaisa's third ability properly. It's literally one of the strongest abilities in the game, in my opinion. Okay, I use my ultimate here to get out of the fight. Very good reposition. I can flash to him. I didn't kill him. That's sad. That's very sad. And to be fair, even if I killed him, he would have gotten revived by Akshan. I should have known that I should not play like this against the Akshan. You know, normally it's fine to dive the enemies like this to get like another kill, because he's a very important kill to get. But because we're against an Akshan, I should have adjusted my playstyle. Because again, even if I killed him, he would have gotten revived anyways, so it would have been a useless kill. Bruh, he's running. Is he actually gonna be able to run away? He's actually gonna run away. Come on. Oh my god, they cannot catch the Kain. Our base is getting destroyed while they try to chase down a Kain. They couldn't kill him. Now you've reached an even stronger power spike, which is the second ability upgrade. It's not necessarily gonna do a huge amount of damage with this build, but it's still like, it's still fine. It's still not bad. Honestly, I mainly use it to check vision with this build, like, and of course, you know, it's just nice. It's not horrible. It's just nice damage, but it's mainly used to like check vision on the enemy and just do a little bit of extra damage. Like this, you know, like 250 damage. But it's not necessarily used for the damage of the second ability. It's mainly used to get 3 stacks of your passive. Because, you know, proccing your passive is what's gonna do the big damage. So, like, you're also using it for that. So, like, while with the other build, you're actually gonna use it to poke the enemy. With this build, you're only really using it for vision and proccing your passive more effectively. That's 800 gold, by the way. Oh, wow. That's huge. And here you can see another thing, just take the enemy jungle. You know, while you're at it, just take their jungle. Kaisa especially takes the Gromp. I've learned the name. The Gromp. No more big fat brown guy. The Gromp. Kaisa takes the Gromp, the red buff, the blue buff. I should win this, yeah. So, in the late game, when you've reached 3+ items, you are gonna destroy assassins. Not a Kain, but normal assassins. You're gonna destroy, like Katarina, Akali. Fizz is a bit of a weird story as well. You can destroy him too, but it's a little bit hard if he hits his ultimate on you. Yeah, I was a little bit mad of this Kain because of him being able to constantly kill me with that ultimate. He can just one-shot me with his ultimate alone. But now I finally have a stasis. I finally got that stasis. Kain is not a problem anymore. But Kaisa can just destroy assassins like that. You're never gonna lose against them. Because you can reposition, you can become invisible, you're a 1v1 queen, you destroy them, they cannot do anything, you counter-assassin them basically. Counter-assassinate them. That's the better way of saying it. Let's see. My main target should probably be the Akshan, because if we kill everyone and then Akshan gets a kill, you know what I mean? It's completely useless. Oh, look at that damage. Just look at that damage. Basic attack first ability is 50% of Akali's HP. That is just crazy. That is actually just crazy. Again, you see how I'm using my third ability every time. Like, I'm using it from the bush. Not from the bush, sorry, from behind the wall. For the same reason I told you guys earlier. You can see here, I'm kind of poking them, but it's just really not doing anything. It's actually really not doing anything. I want to get the red buff here. Like, I'm telling them, me red, wait. Hopefully that's like clear enough for them to not fight. Because red buff is of course always very, very important. Especially with the build that you guys are about to see in the second gameplay. Oh my god. Second gameplay is the interesting one. Because that's the actual advanced. She cannot kill me, she cannot kill me, she cannot kill me. She can't. Yep, she can't. Like, I could have even flashed. If I wouldn't kill her, like, that fast, I would have flashed to try to dodge her ultimate. And I would have even stasis and stuff like that. Like, I would have done all that kind of stuff to just dodge her ultimate. And I would just kill her, you know what I mean? I can flash over the wall to kill that Akshan. Just, yeah, there we go. Very nice. Is that game? Is that game? 20 seconds. Is that game? We don't have Baron. No. I mean, he's tanking the turret. He can use his ult on the Nexus. He doesn't have ult, but is... That's game. That's game. We won the game. The first game has been won. Let's take a look at how much damage. I just... You know what? Let's screw this. I'm just gonna skip to the damage part. Come on. Just go. I want to show you the second gameplay. I just want to show you the second gameplay. Let's take a look. 28,000 damage. Woohoo! Very nice. Second gameplay. Here we go. Let me see. Let me put the screen correctly. Oh my god. This game, it's special for a reason. Let's just get into the gameplay. Because this game is also not my average Kaisa game, and also on the spectrum of me getting destroyed, okay? This game, I genuinely went 1 on 7 at some point in the game. You'll see. And I'm not gonna say whether we won or we lost. I'm just gonna say that this is yet again gonna be a game where it kind of teaches you what to do if you get destroyed early game. And the reason I'm showing that to you guys with this build is because when you start experimenting with the Runan's Hurricane build, I can 100% guarantee you, pretty much every game you're gonna lose. Not lose the whole game, but like lose early game. You can see I'm already losing minions because I'm not, you know, it's different. If you have attack speed, your ability does little damage, your basic attacks do like no damage. So you're also gonna miss a little bit more minions. So it's harder to farm. You're way weaker early game. You're weaker mid game, you're only stronger late game, but you're significantly stronger late game. So this game is gonna try to show you like what the hell do you do if you get destroyed with this build. Because if you snowball with this build, it's game over. You know, that's why I don't want to show you guys that. If you go like 5-0 early game and you go for this build, you've won the game. You've essentially won the game already. So, you know, we know that, but what if you don't? What if you don't? How do you possibly play this build if you don't? See the difference between this build and the other build with like, if you're behind, the other build has very bad jungle clear. You can only take the Gromp, the red buff and the blue buff very fast, but any other jungle camp, you're gonna take like ages to clear. This build, no. If you get the Runan's Hurricane, you can actually clear jungle very fast. You can clear all the jungle very fast. So any jungle you get is gonna allow you to make a comeback, whether it's your own jungle, the enemy jungle. I mean, look at this. You see how little damage I'm doing? I'm exhausting him, but like it's really not that much damage, and you need to acknowledge that. Like I should not have traded so much. You'll see this blitz is actually gonna catch me many times. This blitz was crazy. I'm trying to farm while juking him, but he actually caught me, and I died. Oh, yeah, that's not good. This blitz just got me, man. He just got me. So the point of this build, I was gonna, well, what was the thing in the build part that I was gonna explain? Yeah. Okay, so this build. The point of this build is attack at your basic attacks, right? Your basic attacks are the point. You're gonna get to the attack speed limit with this build, especially when you stack your lethal tempo. When you stack your lethal tempo, you're actually gonna exceed the attack speed limit of the game. Like, no joke. Because that's how lethal tempo works. Lethal tempo allows you to exceed the maximum attack speed you can have in the game. You know, if you get 5 full attack speed items, you're gonna have less attack speed than if you would get like 2 attack speed items, Legend Alacrity, and the lethal tempo. Lethal tempo allows you to exceed it. So because of that, and when you use your third ability, you're gonna get even more attack speed, by the way. Your attacks are gonna be so fast that at some point it's not worth to use your abilities anymore. In a 1v1, yes, okay, if you're in a 1v1, which is not ideal with this build, but if you are, you know, Kaisa is still very good at 1v1s. Again, I've died here. It's just very unfortunate what's happening in this game. The enemies are way stronger than me. I have no damage. For some reason, I chose to rotate. You should not roam like this. You should just stay in your lane and farm when you go for this build. But besides that, I'm talking about this late game. Literally, you just pew the enemies. You use your third ability and you attack them. Pew. It's so fast. And if you use your first ability, you're basically wasting 2 basic attacks. And if you use your first ability, if it's not isolated, it does like 0 damage with this build. Because remember, you don't have a Dusk Blade. You don't have any actual first ability damage. You have basic attack damage. The whole point of this build. Basic attack and second ability damage. First ability is not strong with this build. Only worth in 1v1s. I got caught again. So in a full-on team fight, when you're hitting 3 enemies with the Runaan's Hurricane, you just wanna keep hitting them. You just wanna keep going, literally. I want you to ignore all of your abilities. I was gonna die there, that's why I dove like that. To try to at least take someone with me, but we didn't take anyone with us. And that's the 3rd death already, guys. So at this point, like, I'm so behind, I need, like, my mindset needs to shift now. My mindset needs to be, my life is worth nothing anymore. You know, my life is worth nothing. I need to try to get stuff for my lives. Like, if I die, for example, if I steal the entire enemy blue jungle and I die for it, it's worth it. If I shove like 3 waves and I die for it, it's worth it. If I take like 3 turret plates and die for it, you guessed it, it is gonna be worth it. This is gonna cause me to die more often, but this is the only way you can actually make a proper comeback in a game. Because if you're, you know, if I'm gonna keep playing safe all game long, how am I supposed to make a comeback? Now, I'm not saying that you need to suicide all the time, you know what I mean? Like, look, of course, now I am playing safe. I'm keeping the wave on my side. I'm waiting in the bush, so I know if anyone is coming. Now, on the other hand, I'm shoving the wave. Because they killed the Caitlyn. They killed the Caitlyn, so I'm shoving the wave to make her lose farm. And so I can, like, go back and get the Nashor's Tooth, roam to my team, and maybe try to do something. I'm gonna try to shove another wave here. I'm not gonna rotate. Even though you really may wanna rotate, help your team, it's not the right call. You wanna farm. I'm farming up, shoving the wave, making the Caitlyn lose farm as well. And now, of course, I'm gonna help my team with the dragon. You know, it's not like you need to stay alone all the time. So there we go. We're taking the dragon now. Very, very nice. This is like good. This is good. I don't want to get hooked by him. I knew he was gonna hook there because it was obvious. So now I'm probably gonna go back, get my Nashor's Tooth. I'm still gonna be completely useless. But at least, you know what I mean? Like, this is the first part where I'm actually trying to farm a little bit. I know that blue jungle was spawning. I know I could have probably invaded. But right now, I take the jungle so unbelievably slowly that it's just not worth it. Like, if Blitzcrank and Caitlyn rotate to me, I'm just dead. You know what I mean? So I didn't do it. So right here, we're gonna see an interesting situation. I see a Caitlyn. And you may be thinking, why the hell am I 1v1ing her? And that's because Kaisa, remember, is a 1v1 queen. If she actually aimed that first ability on me, I would have flashed away. But for some reason, she aimed it completely at a different way. I would have killed her regardless, basically. Like, even if she aimed it at me, I would have dodged it with my flash. I was actually ready for that, but she didn't. But Kaisa is a 1v1 queen. You can win 1v1s against ADCs even if you're behind. Even against a Vayne, you still win 1v1s against a Vayne because of how strong Kaisa is in 1v1s. And now what am I doing? Shoving the wave. And then there's 2 things I can do. I can get turret plates and die for them. Actually, there's 3 things I can do. Turret plates, die for them. I can invade their blue jungle. Or I can go back. I'm only going back because I really thought they were roaming for me. And Caitlyn was coming. And I think they were roaming. Where's the Blitzcrank? I cannot see the map. Yeah, but basically I thought they were roaming for me. Kha'Zix, Blitzcrank, so that's why I went back. I didn't want to take a... I told you guys to take risks. You need to take calculated risks. I need to add that to it. Of course, you don't want to like, if there's like a 5% chance of success and a 95% chance of failure, of course you don't want to do it, right? Like it's not going to be worth it like that, because then you're only going to keep getting more and more behind in the game. But look, right now, 5 people are not in my lane. I'm going to shove. They put Herald there. For me, this is jackpot. This is literally a jackpot. The turret plates ran out, which means free turret. This is a free real estate. I'm gonna take the turret. I'm gonna try to shove another wave. I'm gonna try to invade their jungle. However, they are rotating to me. I could have flashed to guarantee the turret, but I didn't want to waste my flash. And actually, the minions still got the turret. So this is what I mean. You take calculated risk. I took a well, it was calculated because all of them were mid lane. And the moment I started pushing the turret, they were roaming for me. I knew I would die. I could survive by going back, but the question is it worth for me to go back over me taking an entire turret and then just dying? You know what I mean? Of course it's worth to take the turret if I'm 1-on-3. Of course it is. You know, so I took the turret, got myself some nice gold, and yeah, we're gonna go back. Now I'm trying to look for a different way to farm the game. I'm not gonna steal this Kaisa's farm, as you can see, like just let her farm the wave. I'm not gonna be the annoying teammate. You know, of course I need to get fed, but if I annoy my teammate, oh my god! Yeah, I'm dead. He just flashes on me. What can I say? I just got caught. Yeah, I should not have been there. I should not have been there. Like, I need to play more cautious. But this is what happens. Like, I'm just getting destroyed. And the enemies are using a lot of stuff to kill me, and it's just an annoying game. You know what I mean? Like, it's very annoying, and you're gonna have this a lot with this build. I don't want to sugarcoat it too much for you guys, you know? I can show you guys the good games, make it look like a perfect scenario. You know, all of your games are gonna be like this. They're not gonna be like this. Majority of your games are gonna be like this if you actually choose to challenge yourself and play with this build. Because this build is so weak early game, you cannot do anything. Oh, this looks like a potential fight. Mundo is actually doing a very good job right here. Very, very well played by him. But like, games like these are gonna hurt a lot. Like but you can carry them. That's the thing. Like right here, the moment we get the moment I can do something, I'm gonna shove the turret. I'm gonna try to invade their jungle. I'm gonna try to do stuff. Like look, right now I'm immediately gonna go to their jungle. It's up, and there we go. I'm gonna try to take the jungle. I'm gonna try to take this. I'm gonna try to take the Gromp probably. I'm gonna try to farm myself. Like this is how you get fed. Even if you're behind as an ADC, this is how you get fed basically. You take the Gromp, you take the blue buff. Yeah. And this is the risk you're taking. Now I'm gonna ask you guys. This was actually, like, the blue invade was good. But why was it the most horrible idea for me to go for the Gromp? There is a single reason I should have known that they were gonna be there. Let me know in the comments. Test your knowledge. There was one big reason why I should have easily been able to tell that they would have been there. Because I died, all of my teammates are dying and we lost the rank. This is all my fault. All of this is my fault. No one else to blame except for me. Test your knowledge. Like, go back into the video, take a look. You need to be able to tell, because there's a lot of things that are happening in the game which allows you to tell if the enemy is gonna rotate to you. So let me tell you, pause the video if you haven't answered already. It was because the dragon was spawning. The dragon was spawning in like 10 seconds, and I started to do the Gromp like an idiot. Of course they're gonna rotate to the dragon. Right here I fell for a very obvious bait as well. I kind of knew that Blitzcrank was probably gonna be there, but I chose to take the risk in case he wasn't gonna be there to try to get the kill. And this is the moment I'm 1-on-7, guys. This is the moment where the villain arc will begin. I just kept asking myself, why do I keep dying? Well, I knew why I kept dying, because I kept playing super risky like that. And I died unnecessarily so many times. But now you guys are gonna see the power of this build. I'm sitting at 2 items. I need 3 items. 3 items is where the power... Well, I'm saying now. But 3 items is where the power of the build will really start to come online. So like right there in that invade earlier, I should have taken the blue buff and ran away. Blue buff was good. You know, I could take that because all of them were not in the jungle. After that, I should not have been greedy. Just go out, take the blue buff, it's fine. Because the dragon was spawning, and to be fair, I didn't actually pay attention to the dragon spawn, which is why I actually invaded further and I died. So that was just a classic not paying attention. And look at what I'm doing here. This is another interesting thing. So I am shoving the waves, and I'm gonna try to invade their blue jungle again. I'm leaving my team alone. All of them are probably gonna die because they're literally in a 4v5. As you can see, they're losing hardcore. And this is the unfortunate thing that I have to do right now. If I want to carry the game, like, the turret bounties are up. I'm gonna take the turret. Especially when the turret bounties are up, you should not really care about anything except for the turret bounties. So look at what I'm doing here. I know they are rotating. I know they're roaming to me here, by the way. I know. But I'm still gonna shove. I'm gonna try to take the turret. But yeah. I should have just gone back. The reason that I still took the risk is because I kind of thought I could take the turret before anyone would back off. What I should have actually done is I should have taken the blue buff and backported. That's what I actually should have done. I'm 1 on 8, by the way. 1 on 8. Oh my god. It's like, I'm building towards that Runam, but I'm 1 on 8. They took the Baron. You know, of course your team is gonna lose on the opposite side when you play like this. But if you do not play like this, you're gonna be useless in team fights. By the way, this is only if you lose hard, huh? It's like, if you get better with this build, your games are not gonna look like this. You know, you're gonna be able to play a lot better. And your games are not gonna look like this. My games do also not look like this. Of course, you know, a few games look like this now. But I just want to clarify it. This is not my average game. I'm literally purposely showcasing you guys a game where I did this. So you guys know what to do in the case you actually fall behind. Which is a very likely thing to happen when you start to play this build. Because playing this build is extremely hard. So let's take a look. I'm decently strong right now. Still don't have my Runa's Hurricane. But I'm just trying to shove the Baron waves here. I could ult to the Caitlyn here, but again, at this point, I cannot take that risk anymore because they have Baron, you know? Maybe I would have killed Caitlyn, but the likely scenario is that I would have just died. So I am not gonna dive that because I have very good wave clear as a Kaisa. My team needs the wave clear, so we do not lose the game on the spot right here. So look, we're just clearing the waves. Now I'm playing it safe. You see, now it's different because the Baron is up. And I'm stacking up my lethal tempo, ulting away. Oh, that's a kill. Very nice. But I know I'm super weak right now, right? I know. But look at what's waiting for me in the base. Oh, no, no. 1 second, 1 second. Now we have the power spike. Now the game actually begins. Because when you reach that godly 3-item power spike, and then the boots of mana as well, actually. That's what makes the real power spike. That's when the game actually begins. Like, that's actually when the game begins. Because now, my playstyle is gonna shift. I'm still gonna try to farm. But as you will see, I'm actually gonna do damage now. I'm actually gonna do damage. Not afraid of him. Boom, boom. Look, look, look. This is all me. It's all my damage. You see that? I'm actually gonna start to do damage now. Caitlyn is pushing. I wanted to go back, but Mundo is roaming. So right here, you know, he's taking dragon. My eyes are on the blue jungle, actually. Like, take a look. My eyes are on the blue jungle. It's not up. That one is up, though, so I'm gonna take the Gromp. Boom, boom, boom. Actually, blue buff is spawning. But they do know I'm here. So you see, like, you see the difference. I really want you guys to see the difference. The blue buff is like 10 meters from me. I'm not gonna go for it. I could have maybe taken it. But I'm not. Because when you reach the 3-item power spike, at this point you do not want to risk your team anymore. You want to be there for your team. You do not want to make those risky plays where, you know, maybe you would have taken it. But what if you wouldn't? If I wouldn't, I would have died and my team would have probably lost the game because the Baron is spawning. Look at what I'm doing. Look at what I'm doing instead. I'm just taking my own jungler's jungle. It's like fine to do like this. Taking the red buff and then I'm gonna fight. It's really unfortunate they're fighting without me here. I'm trying to take it as fast as I can and help them in the fight. So take a look. Yeah, there we go. Very nice for my team, actually. They didn't do a full engage. They didn't fall for it like idiots. Very smart team. I want to say this was actually a very smart team. And now you can poke with your second ability. This build actually does good poking. Like, look, I'm not in the fight. I'm just poking them. Until I can actually go in and do something. I'm hitting all of those second abilities, though. I cannot really dive yet. I'm waiting for the right moment. Mundo goes in. Now is the right moment. Boom! Boom, boom. Exhaust him. Exhaust. He's exhausted. He still killed me through the exhaust. But we won the fight. You know what I mean? Like, we actually won the fight. I couldn't do that much in this fight. because I couldn't do that much, because if I went in they would have one-shotted me, but I was still able to use my second abilities in that fight. And that's the thing, like, you don't have to dive in as a Kaisa. You can just, with this build, you can just use your second abilities. You're gonna do a decent amount of damage, especially to the front lines, because it does percentage missing HP damage. So like, don't force yourself to go in when you go for this build. Of course, you know, the whole point of Kaisa is to go in, but sometimes you simply cannot. You still have your second ability to just bully the enemies. So don't just wait around. At least use your second ability to hit the enemies. Wow, the video is 45 minutes long already. Damn. Like, to be fair, looking at that comp, oh, did I forget to tell you guys how to draft this build? Oh my god. The way you want to draft this build, I forgot to tell you. You want to pick this build into melee champions, tanks. Melee tanks, melee tanks. Assassins are fine too, but you don't want to be against too many assassins. Look at this game. Like, they have a Kha'Zix, they have a Kha'Zix, they have a Yasuo, they have an Echo. Kha'Zix, Yasuo, Echo, and a Blitzcrank. 4 melee champions. Look at this fight, by the way. Look at this fight. I've stacked up my lethal tempo fully. I can literally flash in if I really want to. Look at that damage. The second ability is doing 500 damage. So like, this game, it's perfect. The only ranged champion they have is a Caitlyn. So like, that's what makes this build a perfect late game counter to their team. Taking the blue buff too. Unfortunately, Lux took it, but it's fine. I'm gonna try to keep away the Kha'Zix here. Like, I'm standing in a spot where I want to be. Yeah, there he is. I'm just hitting him. I'm gonna try to keep him away. Boom, boom. Because I don't want to risk losing it. Ooh. I really want to... I can flash over and kill this Caitlyn here. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Yep. Because I don't want to have to deal with the Caitlyn range. Now no one has range anymore. I can just stack up my lethal tempo. Look, stacking up lethal tempo. Boom, boom, boom. Killing him. We got everything. We got everything. The game is not even close to done yet, by the way. But I just got everything and I killed everyone. Like, you will do... Oh my god. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, he almost died. Look, like, even single target damage, you actually do a decent amount of damage against those tanks. It's of course not gonna be the strongest, but the whole point of this build is like, you hit 3 enemies at the same time. And you need to make sure the enemies focus someone else. So like, you want one of your teammates to go in, and then you slowly kill everyone. You know what? The other build is meant to assassinate people, like, one by one. This build is meant to like slowly kill everyone. You know, don't kill them one by one, you kill everyone at the same time. So like, I want my Mundo to go in. I want my Wukong to go in. You know, I want my Karma to shield me. I want that kind of stuff to happen. And then I go in and kill all that. And this is what I mean. You take jungle unbelievably fast, by the way. So that's the thing as well with this build. I don't want to make plays on my own. Like, I should be careful here. Sure, I can poke with second ability, but like, look, I'm not gonna go too far. Because I know Kha'Zix may be waiting right here over the wall and jump on me. So I'm just waiting. Play the patient game. Do not go further. Look. And Lux has the same thing. She's like, she's a bit more aggressive than me. I just don't want to die. Like, I really don't want to die now for no reason. I'm waiting until the Mundo pushes top, until the Karma pushes bot. Now they have, you know, we know where Yasuo is, so I'm not that afraid anymore. Yeah, I'm not afraid anymore. There we see the Kha'Zix too, so that's very, very nice. Look, of course, I'm just gonna bully them with my second ability. Because why the hell not? My team, someone is dying topside. Mundo. I can ult and kill them. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's the Wunan's Hurricane as well. Ah, second ability, stopped it. Very good stasis here to block the Blitz hook, by the way. Oh my god, he nearly one-shot me. But we won the game, guys. We won the game. Literally 1 on 8. I actually ended up carrying the late game. My team did a great job early game. Again, this is not my average game. I just wanted to show you guys what to do if you fall behind by extreme amounts. This build is like the perfect comeback material. You know what I mean? This build is really, really good to make a comeback. And you're gonna see the amount of damage I did. Let's see. I did the most damage, even though I was 1 on 9, 1 on 8 at some point of this game. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video.